Dr. Bernadine Cruz is the chair of the Council on Communications at the American Veterinary Medical Association, and we are here to talk about an epidemic. I'm calling it that.
Yes.
You think so?
It really is.
It's gotten that bad.
In people and pets, and it's obesity. I mean, it happens day by day, right in front of your eyes, right on top of your scale. You just have one more little treat, and I've always heard of it, the sliver, the slab, the slob.
Yeah.
So with our pets, you see them every day, oh, you're giving love, and sometimes you just feel so guilty because you can't be home as much as you want to. So as you're walking out that door, you give your kitty one more treat. And you know you should take that dog for a walk, but oh, you just can't, so here's that one more treat. And then pretty soon, you think that your pet really isn't overweight because you see all the other dogs at the dog park, and they're fatter than yours. So if you want to look slim, you need to have fat friends.
Yeah.
So they right now think, according to the American Veterinary Medical Association, about 30 to 40% of all the pets in the United States are overweight. And that's cutting their quality of life down to the minimum.
And that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's an enormous, pardon the vernacular there, but it is an enormous problem. We're talking about impacting the health of these animals because they're tubbier around their middles.
Right. It affects their heart, it affects their breathing, it affects their immune system. They recently have found out that fat is very metabolically active. So right when you go ahead and you spay or neuter a dog, cat, 6, 7 months of age, and I still strongly recommend that. But what happens when you neuter them, you decrease their metabolic rate by about 30 to 35%. So you want to continue feeding them as a puppy or a kitten, and then all of a sudden you realize at a year and a half, poof, you know, is this fluffy or fat? And it's usually fat.
Yeah.
So you have to cut back. And oftentimes my clients will say, but I'm feeding what it says on the bag. Well, according to the bag, that's a very active young dog that's intact. So if you have the athlete, sure, that's probably the right amount. But if you have the couch pooch, no, it's too much.
All right, so what can we do to, aside from feeding them appropriately, which you just mentioned, what else can we do to sort of put them on a diet, and should they go on a diet?
First, you need to recognize, is it fluffy or is it fat? And one of the ways that you can do it is as your pet's standing up and you're looking down at them, you can do a body conditioning scoring test. Put your hands on the side of their rib cage with a little bit of pressure, and that's the operative word, little. You want to be able to feel the ribs. If you're pinching an inch, they're fat. You want to have a little bit of a waistline right after their ribs.
Kind of an hourglass figure.
Exactly. If they look like a sausage, they're fat.
Not good.
If you look at the side of them and they have this little poochy down thing that's coming between their legs right after their little rib cage, they're fat. They're not supposed to have a pot belly.
If you realize that and then you put the pet on a crash diet,
No.
tell me why.
Cats in particular, you never want to put them on a crash diet. They have a very unique metabolic rate that if you, even sometimes for as short as 24 hours, you say, cat, you're fat. I'm going to give you this new diet food. And the kitty looks at it going, I'm not going to eat that stuff. Sometimes just being off feed for 24 hours, they will start to mobilize the fat in their body, dump it into their livers, they become jaundice, so having an icteric situation, their livers become diseased, and you have fatty liver syndrome, and that can really be a dead cat.
Right, that can kill a cat.
Yes.
So you don't want to put a dog or a cat
No.
on a crash diet. Do you want to see your veterinarian about exactly what to do?
That is probably the best thing to do because there are some hormonal reasons why your pet may be overweight. An underactive thyroid, a condition known as hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid, Cushing's disease, which is an overproduction of cortisone. So there's all these different reasons why your pet may be overweight. So as they always tell us before we go on a diet, see your doctor first so your pet goes in, make sure there's no underlying problems, and you only want them to lose about 1% of their initial body weight per week. So nice and slow, the best way to do it.
What about exercise?
There are times, I'm sure you've gone on a diet, though you don't need it right now.
I love this guest. Thank you.
You're welcome. You go on a diet, but you've been sitting at your desk, you're doing whatever, and you get on the scale at the end of the week going, it didn't change. This is not fair. I've been watching what I'm eating. It's wrong. So you have to get out there and you have to move. And since this is really an epidemic of people and pets being obese, well, you know what? You probably could stand a little exercise yourself. So you get that dog out, instead of having that extra bowl of ice cream after dinner, put the leash on, let's go for a walk.
And the same with cats. I mean, you really can, even if you just take a play toy and you get up instead of using the remote to change the channel, you get up to do it and take your cat with you, not hold your cat, but have your cat follow you. It's a little bit of exercise. Feed your cat in different places around the house.
Make them look for it.
Exactly right. Dr. Bernadine Cruz, You're great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.